Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Interactive on a Mission. I'm your host, Robbie Britton, and this episode we're going to talk about my 555 rule. Five, 550, 555 rule. I don't know. Just kind of got that jingle in the whatever that commercial is on TV where they talk about the $5 thing. Anyway, the 555 rule is a little rule that I came up with and I did it to challenge myself to have different games in my toolbox that I could use to entertain an audience. And this is basically how it breaks down. The first 5 would be 5 close-up games, 5 games that you can mingle with a small group. It's good when you're mingling early on in an event, or if you happen to be at a small dinner get-together or anything like that. Just kind of small stuff, something you can do with a small group that kind of gets their attention. And the middle 5 would be a single winner games that you can play that would give one person the win. So if you got a group of people and the client wants you to give away one prize, you've got a game that you can bring the whole audience, keep them involved until you get down to the one winner. And then the last 5 would be the 5 team games, 5 easily orchestrated team games that would allow you to give away multiple prizes, or activities that would help you give away multiple prizes at the end of the night. And that's basically all there is to the 555 rule. In future episodes of Interactive on a Mission, I'm going to be talking more about the 555 rule. I'll also be explaining every once in a while when I do a new game where it would fit in the 555 rule. And to kind of give you an example of that, I've got one for you now that I want to share that would be part of the middle 5 of the 555 rule. So here's the scenario. A client comes up to you and they say, hey, I've got this one prize that I want to give away. We don't have any raffle tickets. Can you come up with a game or some way of giving this item away? Yeah, I've got a game for that. But first, I'd like to thank one of our sponsors, Funville Cards. Funville Cards is a distributor for send-out cards. Basically, all you got to do is go to funvillecards.com, click on the banner, choose your card, write your message, click send, and Send Out Cards prints it, stuffs it in the mail, and mails it for you. So support us by supporting our sponsors and go to Funville Cards and give it a test drive today. So here's the game. It's a game called Heads or Tails. And all you're doing is basically getting a quarter, or any coin for that matter. You're flipping it, and you're calling whether it's heads or tails. The game part is the audience has got to predict whether they think it's going to land on heads or tails. So if they think it's going to land on heads, they put their hand on their head. If they think it's going to land on tails, they put their hand on their tail. Not anybody else's tail, just their own tail. People get cute with that. So that's basically how the game works. This game worked out so well, and I was such a big fan of this game, that when I first heard about it, a friend of mine, Ed Frank, told me about this game. And I said, let's use this at the Appalachian Regional Mobile DJ Symposium as a way of giving away the biggest prize of the day. So throughout the day, we did little raffle tickets, and we gave things away. But at the moment where we're going to give away the biggest prize, I told everybody to take their tickets out, hold it in front of them, and rip them in half, throw them down. People were like, what are you doing? I said, we're getting ready to give away the biggest prize. Again, I instructed everybody to stand up, put your hand on your head if you think it's going to be heads, hand on your tail if you think it's going to be tails. I'm flipping a coin. Make your prediction now. So I flip it, put it down here, looked at it. It's heads. Everybody that said tails had a seat. Those that said heads are still in the game. And I continued doing this until I got down to one last winner who made the prediction right, and they won the prize. And it's basically a fail-safe game as far as people playing. You kind of get the audience to watch each other so there's no cheating. This is a game that you can do a lot of creative stuff with. Now, whenever you're doing a game, it's always fun if you can figure out a way to cheat the game. So at one particular Christmas party a couple years ago, I was challenged to give away a gag prize to one particular person that worked at the company. And so what I did was I used heads or tails. Every time I'd flip it, I would look and see what he predicted, and then I would make that call. So if he said it was heads, then I would go ahead and say it was heads. And I kept doing that until we got down to just him. He won. He got the prize. It was a gag prize centered just for him, and it was hilarious. Everybody got a big kick out of it. So remember that, too. That's kind of a little bonus tip on this episode, is not only have games that in your toolbox that you can play at a moment's notice, games that take small props, games that are so easy to play, but also know if you ways of sliding the game and cheating the game a little bit to have the outcome you want, especially when there's nothing really big involved. It's always fun to be able to play and cheat a game a little bit and have some fun with it. Well, that's it for this episode of Interactive on a Mission. You can check us out on the web at interactiveonamission.com. You can email me personally at Robbie at interactiveonamission.com. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.interactiveonamission.com. And we're doing the Twitter thing too, which is twitter.com/IOAM for Interactive on a Mission. And that's it for this episode. Until next time, smile and look like you're up to something.